It was an interesting period in Alberta. Mr. Diefenbaker won a national election. I was a freshman at the university. The provincial party then decided that we had a chance to form a government because the late Duff Roblin had taken a party from nowhere to win an election in Manitoba, replacing a regime that had been in place for 30-some years. Very similar situation to ours. And because there was that great enthusiasm, I, like others, got swept up in a provincial leadership campaign. And I was supporting a then 29-year-old lawyer from Edmonton named Alan Lazert, who surprised everybody by becoming a very strong second. And I remember to this day, the night before the final vote, people who later became very prominent justices of the Court of Alberta and who were supporting the older candidate who won, putting pieces of paper under hotel doors saying, "Beware of these communists." I mean, this was 1950, 1857, 58, 59. When Cam Kirby, a wonderful man, won that leadership, they needed someone to help from the Lazert campaign. And so I became Mr. Kirby's whole staff. I was his valet, his speechwriter, his driver. I did everything for him. When nobody came to his meetings, I would phone radio stations in Calgary and Edmonton and report on what Mr. Kirby had said in the hall in wherever it was. And so I'd become quite immersed in the provincial political party. I have been an admirer. I'd met in the course of my political activity the late Davy Fulton, a British Columbian, a man I immensely admire. He ran for the leadership of the National Party. I came to work for him. Prior to that, I'd been very close to Peter Lougheed in the early days of the Alberta Party. My dad and Lou Heinemann placed Peter's name in nomination for the leadership of the party. And I became the Alberta organizer for a while for that party and ran in the 1967 provincial election in Calgary South. We ran a very vigorous campaign. We plastered posters over everybody, and somebody phoned the headquarters and said, "If you will stop putting things under my door, I will vote for you." So we did, and he did, I gather. Peter elected 6 members in that election. Had he elected 8, I would have been in the legislature, but I wasn't. And I then came down and worked for Mr. Fulton in the leadership campaign, which he lost. And Mr. Stanfield asked me to stay with him, and I worked with Mr. Stanfield and then I decided that I was going to go back and run for Mr. Stanfield, which I did. And there we were. But it was like so many things. People have told me that they can remember absolutely when I was 4 and told them when I was going to be Prime Minister of Canada. I'd never heard of the Prime Minister of Canada at that time. And I really didn't, I was interested in public life, but I really didn't seek that. And in fact, when the leadership campaign opened, when Mr. Stanfield stepped down, my principal activity was to persuade Peter Lougheed to run. I went back several times and talked to him, and when it finally became clear that he was not going to, some colleagues and I sat down and decided which of us might. And it was decided that I had a better chance than others, in part because I was effective in the House of Commons. Mr. Trudeau scared everybody except me, and I was able to take him on in Parliament. And I think that at the end of the day, the fact that I had been a Western Canadian who learned French, who demonstrated, as I'd learned in High River, to try to deal with the whole community, and that I was able to provide what the National Party needed at that time was somebody who was able to take on the formidable Mr. Trudeau. It was easier to criticize him than it was to defeat him, were both factors that sort of moved my career along from that point.